Greetings and welcome to the Halloween edition of the Sliders Review. And I'm here today to talk to you about Scream 4. Okay, I know. It's not Halloween anymore. However, like I've been saying before, this was originally supposed to be like part of my Halloween video series, but I just didn't get around to it. I did the first 3 movies. I haven't done the show yet. And I'm just now getting to the 4th movie. And yeah, like I do plan on seeing the 5th movie, but I haven't saw it yet. So think of it like this. Even though it's January 2022, at some point in time, October is going to be around and somebody's going to watch this video. So this video is going to keep its format. So, Scream 4. I really enjoy Scream 4. It was a very good movie. However, it wasn't as good as the first 2, and it wasn't as spine-tingling as part of number 3. Number 3 has some interesting stuff. You know, number 3 isn't technically a favorite among like the fans, but Scream 4 is good. However, the problem with Scream 4 is that it was supposed to issue in a new era, a new trilogy for the franchise, because this came out in 2011 and Scream 3 came out in 2000. So 10 years later, they came out with this new franchise. The only problem is, how you gonna make a new trilogy when the brand new cast you're supposed to like and follow all die? It was a mixture of the old and new cast. And the new cast is interesting, but for the most part, they're watered down versions of characters we know and love from the first franchise movie. And the moment the original 3 cast members come back in the scene, everybody forgets about the new cast. In fact, the story doesn't even focus on the new cast no more once the OG cast members come in. And like, so it failed in that attempt to start a new era, because originally there were so many things planned for Scream 4. Originally, Dewey and Gail were supposed to have a kid. That never happened. Sydney was supposed to get attacked by the killer in the opening scene, and she was supposed to be gone for the majority of the movie and pop back up somewhere in the middle towards the end. Of course, that never happened. And then, of course, there is the ending that changed. The ending that really pissed off Kevin Williamson, who wrote the movie. The original ending was supposed to be Jill was the survivor of the new Ghostface massacre. Something that she planned, of course, because she is the killer in Scream 4. And, well, she's one of the killers. And so, like, her whole thing is she wants to be famous. She wants to be famous like her cousin Sydney. So when Dewey finds her and all the paparazzi people and the news people are taking her pictures and everything, she's happy and excited because she got what she wanted. Until one of the cops let Dewey know that there's a female survivor in the house. Jill had no idea whether it was Sydney or Kirby, and it was supposed to end on a cliffhanger. In the next movie, Sydney was supposed to have amnesia and not remember that Jill was the killer, and Jill was supposed to be like an antagonist, anti-hero person in the 5th movie. As we all know, that never happened. And he was furious about that. So then, of course, now 10 years later, Scream 5 has come out. I have no idea what happens in it, but from what I'm hearing, it's really good. Some people say it's good, but it's not as good as the original one. And just like with Scream 4, it's good, but it's just not as good as, say, Scream 1 or 2. When Scream 4 first came out, my first initial thoughts were, why? Like, why? Because Scream 3 ended in a way that gave everybody their happy ending who was a good person. I mean, it literally ended, even with Sydney opening up the gates to her home, you know, and like no longer having to hide from the world because she thought the whole Ghostface thing was like done, over with, you know what I'm saying? And then they came out with a 4th one, and I was afraid this might be another horror movie sequel where like it's just gonna suck. But it didn't suck for that much part. The only problem I have with it is the new cast, similar to that of Scream 3. Literally, the new cast of Scream 4 is forgettable, except for probably two, maybe three people. Well, actually, there's only five people, five or six. So, yeah, for the most part, only two is memorable. One is very memorable and everything. And it's just like, I don't get it. Like, if this was supposed to be a new era, why not keep some of them alive? You know what I'm saying? And I guess that's what Kevin wanted to do, but of course that never happened and everything. And so, but like I said before, it's a good movie. Only problem is once the OG cast comes in, you completely forget about the other characters, and so do the writers and everything. And when I say they're like watered down versions of Scream 1 characters, I'm not even joking. Now, the new cast is very famous. That's something that was very interesting and disturbed me slightly. Only because when it came to the first Scream movie, I only know who like three people were at that time. Like I knew who the actress who plays Sydney because of Party of Five. I saw the Dewey dude from the Buffy movie, but he had like a small scene, so I kind of forgot about him. And of course, Courtney Cox, the Gail character, I remember her from Friends, but everybody else, I didn't even know who they were at that time. Till this day, I wish I did not know who Rose McGowan was. God, I wish I can just erase her from my memories. But like the new cast, they've been in some stuff that you remember. Like the dude who plays Robbie, he was in Scream 2 as like the detective son. The dude who plays Charlie, well, he's Macaulay Culkin's brother and everything. Jenny was in Friday Night Lights and has been in like guest starring roles in lots of TV shows like Legend of the Seeker. Kirby is from like the Hero show, and also from that huge scandal she had from allegedly having an affair with like a married man and stuff. Now the actress who plays Olivia, I have no idea who she is. Even still to this day, I don't know who she is. She was literally just brought in to be like the hot blondish like brunette with who like flashes the audience with her bra and gets like slaughtered. Like she gets slaughtered, dude. One of the best horror movies like kills I've ever seen and stuff. And of course, Emma Robertson, who has a famous father, a famous aunt, and has been in a slew of like teen comedies and TV shows. But at that time, I had never seen her in anything. But then she went on to play in Scream Queens. Couldn't get that out. It's like a tongue twister. And oh man, she was awesome in Scream Queens and everything. But the most part, when it comes to Emma Roberts playing Jill, I didn't care for her performance at all until the end of the movie. My God, the end of the movie, she let loose, and I like that part. I had to rewatch over and over and over again when she's monologuing about like why she did what she did and all the stuff that she does. Like the girl is literally psychotic in the head. She is the best ghost face killer since Billy Loomis. In fact, sometimes I wonder, could she possibly be better than him? Only because the thing about Billy is Billy was just a regular normal kid who loved horror movies, and then he has mommy issues and his mom left him, and some dude like revealed that to him as to who she was messing who like why his mom left and the woman responsible for that. So him and his friend decided, hey, since we love movies so much, why don't we become like horror movie killers? And they go on this rampage around like town and just murdering people. He was mean and ruthless and everything, and he was nuts. But then you get to Jill. See, Billy became nuts in his teen years. Jill has been nuts ever since she's been little, because she has lived in the shadow of her famous cousin, and she wants everything that she has, and all she wants to be is like famous. So she's been screwed up since like a little child and everything, and she's so psychotic in the head. She was willing to be as famous as her cousin by redoing everything that happened in like the first movie and literally murdering all her friends, even her mom of all things. So it made you want. I mean, the fact that she killed her mom and Billy did not, that says something. You know what I'm saying? Now, Wes Craven and Kevin Williamson, they come back to write and direct this movie. And thank God, because they did a really good job with the first two. However, even though they came back, it didn't have that same vibe as the first two movies. There is something ominous about those first two movies, especially the first one. When you watch it in this grainy film, the music that it has, the setting, it has somewhat of a dim color palette. There's something spectacular about that. And when you get to Scream 4 and score Scream 5, everything is brightly lit because everything is filmed in digital now. And so it just has a different feel. And when you see this younger cast, they look a lot younger than the original ones when they played teens and stuff. And so, like, it's just they have that immature look to them that makes them look real young. And even though they were older, and it just something just didn't feel right. And like I said, I like it. A lot of people like it, but a lot of people also don't like Scream 4. They felt it was too meta. See, the first movie was always meta, but the fourth movie went extremely meta and everything. In fact, it went a little too meta at times, and even to the point where it was kind of like, okay, the first one, it was okay to explain all the meta stuff, but once you get on the other movies, then it's no longer okay. Then it's just like watch it and figure it out for yourself. And so, like, that was one problem a lot of people had with the fourth movie. Now, I will say about the fourth movie, Ghostface is more edgy in his dialogue. Like, the dude is raw. It was some of the best dialogue I ever heard. Like in the other movies, it's okay, but ooh, in the fourth movie, this Ghostface is edgy. He's angry. He's pissed and everything. But the movie starts off with a bunch of fake openings, and the fans had no idea these were like fake outs and everything. And they're all performed by very famous people. And they were so good, you wish they was in the movie, but those were the stab movies, 6, 7, and 8, and so forth. Then when you actually get to the real scene with like Jenny and her friend, you have like no idea it's the real one. And it takes you a good while to figure it out. And then when you do see all the killings and stuff happening, you wonder, like, is this even real? And then when it is real, you're like, holy crap. And so Jenny, she is basically like the CC of the movie and everything. But she has a very memorable scene when she is in the garage. It's very similar to that of Tatum. She's a mixture of Tatum and like CC and everything. And she's played, like I said, by a very famous actress. But it's like, there's no comparison when it comes to Drew Barrymore. It's just Drew Barrymore had this very like different look to her. She had that bob, the blonde hair, which was probably a wig. I don't know, because she normally has like red hair, and she had that sweater and everything that was just kind of like, why are you covering up this hot girl in like a sweater? And then she's in the Home Alone and everything, and so it was very similar to that, but not really. Also, with Jenny, she's more headstrong and more intelligent, but she still makes the dumb mistakes that every slasher movie like victim makes and everything. And it's just like I said before, the scene where she's like just in the garage crawling, and Ghostface is like far away, and the camera angle is like tilted. It's beautiful. And then he flips her over, and then boom, you know what I'm saying? And then you get into like all the modern day stuff with the rest of the cast. And when you see these new characters like Kirby flying past Dewey and everything with her weird hairstyle. Like if you thought Courtney Cox bangs were terrible in Scream 3, Kirby's hair in this movie disturbs the crap out of me. Like it feels like it's not even human. And so when it came to this new cast, I'm like, why am I looking at these new kids for and all this other stuff? And oh wait, they're the new cast. Now there is a deleted scene with the new cast that recreates the one scene from the first movie, and it was a deleted scene. And I'm just like, if this is supposed to be your new crew, your new like cast and everything, why not recreate that? Everything else got recreated in a way, but like different. This would have been a nice homage to like the first movie. So of course, in the deleted scene, there's also a scene where they find Jenny and her friend, and so like her friend Marini or something like that. There's a deleted scene. She's hung from like the ceiling and everything, the ceiling fan. And you know, that would have been like a really cool thing to see, but they like deleted that in the movie. I forget the original scene. It's been a while since I saw like the fourth movie. And so like, you know, then everything starts happening. Dewey is now the police sheriff. This is a whole different Dewey. He's no more clumsy. He's not the klutz. He isn't the dopey person that he was in the other movies. He doesn't have that limp no more. He is a man's man now, and he is the sheriff. And I like this version of Dewey. It was fun seeing him being dopey in the first movie, but after that first movie, he should have manned up, but he never did. And he finally now has. And the thing with him and Gail, they're going through a rough patch. This is probably written in because him and Courtney in real life were divorcing at that time. Gail, she is just going through the motions of getting older and being irrelevant. Her thing is she went from being like this local news person to like this big time journalist, having her own show, writing a book, creating movies off the life experiences of the killings and stuff, to now where she is just a nobody in town. People don't even really recognize her. She doesn't work for the news media no more. She's just trying to get her act together and she can't. And she just spends the entire movie shouting out one-liners, being rude and pissy to people, and still thinking she's the it girl, but she is not. And it's something that happens with a lot of celebrities over time as they start to get older. So that's a reflection on that. And it's kind of sad. Like, for the most part, Gail, like, she's trying to like solve the murder and doing her own thing and hanging out with the young people trying to figure out like what's new in horror movies and stuff. But it's sad to see her like that. When I say this thing gets meta and right on the nose, boy, I'm not even joking. Sydney is 100% better. No more PTSD. She can be around people. She has her own book coming out. She's now making a profit off of her own life experiences, which is something I never would have expected, you know, especially with what happened in the third movie. So this was kind of odd to see from her and everything. And so, of course, when all the killings start happening, Ghostface left a dead body in her rental car. And so now things are picking up. And we get back to like the original new cast. Well, not really the original, but the new cast. It's just nothing. It's just they're bickering about teen stuff. Trevor cheated on like Jill. Like I said, he's a pale imitation of Billy. You're supposed to think he is like the killer because he's so similar to Billy, but he's nothing even close to that. And it's ironic when you find out who the killers are in this movie. And it's just kind of like, oh, they've been playing their friends the entire time. And so they have the 15-year anniversary of everything that happened. And they throw parties and the Stab movie honors and everything. Gail and Sydney, they team up with the new young cast to try to figure out, you know, just how are they gonna solve this thing? And it's just, they're just all going through the motion. And like I said, it just, the new cast just, they're forgettable. Like the moment the original cast come back, you literally forget about them. But then the stuff starts kicking up again once all the killings start happening. Olivia is the first one of the friends to get taken out, and she gets taken out in a brutal way. The picture is so brutal, the aftermath of it, I can't even show on YouTube. It's that brutal and everything. And it's just like, the way Ghostface like killed her, the way he talks to like the people on the phone is more amped up. We get new like sheriff deputies and everything. Judy Hicks, who's in this movie and in the fifth one, she is the new Dewey. She's dopey in the head and everything, and just like cheerful and happy. She also has a crush on Dewey, which pisses Gail off. Now, there is one interesting scene in this movie when she talks to Sydney. She has never been introduced in these movies before. And there is a very eerie scene where she's walking like from the shadows, talking to Sydney, talking about, you don't remember me, but we was in school together and we was in the play together and blah, 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 blah. And you were the lead and I was like something else. And it makes you think, it's like a red herring. It makes you think she's like a killer or something like that. Now, in the next movie, she has a son who just came out of nowhere. And I don't know, man. This scene in Scream 4, I think is gonna pay off in Scream 5 because it never went nowhere in Scream 4. And it makes you wonder, why have this red herring of a scene that was so intense to lead to nowhere? So Gail gets taken out halfway in the movie when the killer like spots her and everything, because she's setting up security cameras at like the little stab movie thing in the hidden barn. And don't you know, Ghostface is a coming, and he gets her and everything. So she's taken off for the rest of the movie. There literally was no point for her being in the movie. It was just like a throwaway role, in my opinion. So at this point, you know, Sydney is, she wanting Jill to be safe. She wants Jill's friends to be safe. She tells them throwing these parties is dumb when there's a killer around. And then there's a scene with Julie's aunt, who is Jill's mom. Another red herring scene where like you think that her aunt might be a killer, talking about, I was so jealous of your mom and all this other stuff and blah 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 blah. But then she gets killed. Who kills her? Don't know if it was Jill or the other killer. Then there's like a strange part towards the middle end of the movie when Jill just like disappears. She snuck out the house around the time her mom got killed. So it probably was her who killed like her mom. And so then it cuts from that to like a house party now, because the other party got broken up by the cops once Gail got stabbed and everything. And this is supposed to be like a retread of like the original movie in the house party, but it's nowhere near as cool and everything. And so, you know, Sydney shows up and everybody's excited to see her and everything. Trevor shows up. And so now you have to wonder who is the killer. And of course, now people are starting to drop like flies in this house. Robbie is the first one. He is like the Randy of the movie and everything. And it's just like, I don't know. It's just like his death wasn't that great. It was just kind of, you know what I'm saying? Then we get to a huge fake out, which I did not see coming. We see Charlie. He's being tied in a chair, very similar to that of Cece's boyfriend from the first movie. And so like, and then so Kirby, because he has a crush on Kirby. Kirby has a slight crush on him, but not really. And so they have a love of horror movies and stuff. Next thing you know, he is tied in the chair. She has to do the whole ghost face on what's your favorite scary movie thing. Her memorable thing is she names every remake of every horror slash movie there is. She does it, but the way she does it was just kind of like, it could have been better acting, in my opinion. And then the big reveal when she says what's his name, it turns out he is the second killer. And he's jealous because she never took notice of him until now. And it's like, dude, you could have had her, but he wants Jill and everything. He is the stew of the group. Jill goes bananas. The monologue, the thing she did, the thing she said was just so amazing. Emma Roberts was amazing in this. That scene will always stand out being the best thing in the movie. Then after she tells Sydney, everything why she did this and this and that, she ends up she thinks she kills Sydney and everything. And so then she has to be the only person left alive in the house. Boy, she does everything. She runs her head into a glass mirror. She stabs herself in the shoulder. Then she jumps backwards on a glass table. She went all out. Then, of course, she gets taken away with the pot, and then the news people interviewing her. She's all blah blah blah. Then of course they said, Sydney's alive. So this pisses her off. She's in the hospital, and she's talking to Gail, talking about, oh, we all both have our own stab wounds and everything, which lets Gail know that, hey, I never told you that. So they now know she's the killer. So they go look for Sydney. We see Jill in her hospital room looking to kill her and everything. So Dewey comes in. He gets knocked out by the bedpan and everything. There's a really cool fight scene between Jill and Sydney. Not as cool as the third movie. That fight scene, the original Scream movie fight scenes were awesome. But with this one, Sydney is very, very wounded, to the part where Jill even puts her hand in her stitches and starts ripping them and everything. And I love the line, "How's those stitches?" Only for Sydney to take she takes something. I forgot what they call it. The defibrillator, I think it's called, and she zaps Jill in the head. That was awesome. And then of course she ends it with the whole bullet to the head thing, and told her don't F with the original. And so, I do really like Scream 4. I just don't think it is good as Scream 1 or Scream 2. Now, I have heard when coming into Scream 5, you have to watch Scream 1 and Scream 4. You can skip the other ones, but there's stuff and backstory in both those two movies that lead up to the fifth movie. I really, truly believe one of the kids from the original, one of the offsprings, I should say, from the original movie is probably one of the killers. And I still think Judy Hicks, there's something going on with her, man. It's just, I just got that feeling why bring her back? You know what I'm saying? Why give her a kid? Why was that scene in the fourth movie went nowhere? Oh, I can't wait to see it. I ain't going to no theater. Screw that crap. I'll wait till it comes out on online or Redbox or something like that. That wasn't that spooky. Alright, well, I shall talk to y'all later. Bye.